Hello and good day. I am John Nikolai Patulilik.
And I am Kimi Verlucernas.
And today we're going to be discussing to you a simple explanation about the parts and functions of the respiratory system. The respiratory system is the organ and structure in our body that allows us to breathe. Its main function is to pull in oxygen for our body cells and to get rid of carbon dioxide, a waste product. The respiratory system also has other functions besides breathing. First, it warms and adds moisture to the air we breathe to match our body temperature and humidity level our body needs. Second, it protects our bodies from particles we breathe in, like harmful germs, for example, and irritants. Third, it allows us to talk. When air vibrates the vocal cords, it would then make sound. Fourth, it helps us smell thanks to a special nerve near the nasal cavities called the olfactory nerve. And lastly, it balances the acidity in our body. The respiratory system is divided into two parts: the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. The upper respiratory tract is composed of the nose and nasal cavities, the pharynx or throat, the epiglottis, and the larynx. The nose, which is the primary entrance of air into the lungs, helps in warming, moistures, and filtering the air we breathe in. The nasal cavity is composed of nasal hairs and cilia, which also filters the air. Third, we have the pharynx, or throat, which is the passageway of both air and food into our body. Then, we have the epiglottis. The epiglottis is a cartilaginous structure in our body that helps close the entrance to the trachea when swallowing food. And lastly, we have the larynx, which is responsible for sound production and protecting the trachea from food aspiration. With the upper respiratory tract done, let's discuss the lower respiratory tract, which would be then handled by my partner, Mr. Kim Verlucernas.
Now that we are done with the upper respiratory system, let us now move on to the lower respiratory system. The lower respiratory system includes the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs, diaphragm, and the thoracic cage, or also known as the rib cage. In the lower respiratory system, this is where the primarily gas exchange happens. When we inhale the air, it enters the trachea, coming from the nose, and it branches out into the bronchi, leading it into the bronchioles. In this part of breathing process, this is where the gas exchange happens. The alveoli in the lungs, oxygen from the inhaled air diffuses into the bloodstream, while the carbon dioxide is released from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled during exhalation. The diaphragm is a muscle beneath the lungs that contracts during inhalation, creating space for air to enter the lungs, and it relaxes during exhalation to help expel air from the lungs. And lastly, the thoracic cage, or also known as the rib cage. Its primary function is to protect the heart and the lungs, while it also assists for breathing. And that's it, guys. I hope you learned something new today. And once again, I am Kimi Verlucernas.
I am John Nikolai Patulilik.
And that concludes the upper and lower respiratory system.